Hi there, it's Rosalind here, and welcome to another Team Tiny hop. This hop is Case the Fellow Team Tiny Creator hop, and I have collected all of these wonderful products. Some of them I had in my stash, but some of them I did have to collect after seeing one of my fellow creators' videos, and that fellow creator is Bori from Bori Crafts. And here are her beautiful cards showing a lot of texture and a lot of use of stencils. And I'm going to try to recreate those cards here for you today. So here I'm starting off showing you a piece of Cricut cardstock that sort of has a linen finish. I didn't have any watercolor type paper that had any texture, so I opted to try this paper out. So I'm just going to blend the background with a blending brush and these three colors, starting with Cracked Pistachio on the bottom, going to Mermaid Lagoon at the top, and in the middle I use Broken China, just as Bori did in her video. So I'm just putting a light bit of color down here just to get that color down, and it doesn't need to be perfectly blended, and it won't perfectly blend on this paper anyway, so don't try to fight it. After that, I'm going to take out my stencils. The first stencil I'm using with these fish is the Trinity Stamp stencil called Summer School. So I had to find some stencils to recreate her card, and these are the stencils that I came up with. I'm using here iCrafter little blending tools here to stencil on some Salty Ocean on the top, and I'm going to turn that stencil around when I get it how I like and blend on some of the peacock feathers on the bottom. And I did go over these two areas again to deepen up those colors, but I didn't show that on video. Then next, I'm taking the Wilted Violet and these itty bitty school of fish here and putting that around my page, sort of to create a nice background of lots of different types of fish swimming in the background. And then I'm going to do as Bori did and get some Cracked Pistachio Distress Oxide ink and mix that with some embossing paste here. This is the Ranger matte embossing paste. And I'm going to selectively take this stencil. Now it's a little bit trickier for me to achieve this because I have sort of a broken up stencil. It's not like all one stencil with fish in all one direction. It's a multi-stencil that you can build up your backgrounds with. So I just had to move it around my page in order to get the look that I was trying to achieve. And I flipped it over upside down and put some nice little fishies in there. And I just loved this card as soon as I saw it on Bori's channel, and I tried to get some stencils like hers. I wasn't able to get the same stencils, but I tried to make things work with what I could. Now here is a stencil from Simon Says Stamp. It's called Bouquet Lights, and I tried to do the baby white method and try to pick up some of that color through the stencil, but I believe that the paper wasn't allowing a crisp removal of that color, so I just kind of skipped that step and moved on to adding some Moonstone embossing glitter paste into this medium-sized bouquet stencil, and I again have to move it around my page and try to create the same bubble look as she had on her cards. But it's a little bit trickier because we have wet medium on places that we may want to be putting, you know, a different pattern on. So I just have to be aware of that while I'm doing this, that I'm not squishing my stencil down onto the stuff I have already done. And you can also let this dry in between and add more layers as you go. And for card number 2, I am blending on peacock feathers on the bottom, Salty Ocean in the middle, and Blueprint Sketch on the top, just as Bori did on her cards. And I want to let you know that this is a hop, for Team Tiny, and Team Tiny is a group of creators that have less than 1,000 subscribers. So that means you can hop along commercial free. We don't have any ads on our channel. So it's a great way to have some binge watching and to support your fellow creator and get some good ideas as you go. So if you go to the description box or my title, you'll be able to click on the hashtag TeamTinyCase, and that will bring up the remaining videos for this hop. So for this background, I'm using the Bokeh Lights stencil again, starting with the smaller bubbles here and turning that up so that it looks like bubbles in the ocean. And I'm using broken china on the top and peacock feathers on the bottom. And I'm just randomly placing that all over my background and working away to achieve the same underwater look. And continuing on, I'm going to take the medium stencil here and further add some bubbles in the same ink colors. Now, if you would like to watch Bori's channel, I will have that linked in the description box below, and you can see how each of us use the same techniques or similar techniques to create these cards. Here I have some Viva Decor glitter paste in the color Emerald. This is just like your tonic, so your Nuvo glimmer paste or your Gina K glimmer paste and whatnot. And instead of mixing a color, I had this emerald green in my stash, so I thought I would try that out and see how that looked. And I'm taking the smallest bubbles in this Bokeh Light stencil, and I'm adding that to my background. So I'm anxious to see what Bori has chosen from my channel or my cards to see what she decided to make. That's going to be awesome. It's going to be fun to watch. So I can't wait. I hope you check out her channel as well to see how she was able to case me. So here we go. We have background number 2 all done. And I cut those panels down to 4.5 inches by 6.5 inches. And I am just putting that on a black piece of paper, and that piece of paper is 4 5/8 inches by 6 1/4 inches. And I'm going to work on my sentiment now. So I'm starting off with a small piece of black cardstock here, and I chose a sentiment from Waffle Flower Under the Sea sentiment set, and it says, "Let the salt water wash your worries away." And I am stamping that down with Versamark ink, and I have prepped my surface with my embossing buddy. And I'm just flipping that piece of paper around so that I can get 2 sentiments out of, one embossing session here. So I'm just going to emboss that with white embossing powder. And I'm using my new embossing gun from WOW. It's a dual speed, and this is the first time I used it, and I'm really impressed how it nicely melted the embossing powder. And after this, I decided to add some sparkle because Bori had a sparkly sentiment, so I popped that back into my stamping platform and re-stamped that with the Versamark ink on both sides. And I'm going to be using WOW embossing powder in clear sparkle. And you can see how sparkly it is here. And unfortunately, I didn't have a video of this being embossed because I made a big mess and had to clean that up and forgot to hit record. So here are my cards, and my images are from Avery Elle. The set is called Sea Babies, and I believe it's exclusive to Scrapping for Less. It was in one of their previous kits in 2019, I believe. And it's a cutie little set with a mermaid and some fish. It even has a dolphin and I thought it was perfect for this card. And for the sentiments here, I cut those down to size and I backed those with foam tape. I'm just ensuring that all of my elements are stuck down nicely. With a card with this much texture, you want to use a nice strong adhesive so that your elements are surely stuck down, because you could be sticking them down to the glimmer paste or the embossing paste or whatnot. So this art glitter glue is perfect for that. And if you enjoyed this video, please check out my other videos on my channel. Please feel free to subscribe and hit the like button and leave me a comment below. And be sure to hop along to see all of the other awesome creators on this hop. Next, we can't forget some sparkle, some more sparkle. For the mermaid's hair, I'm using a Nuvo shimmer pen to add a lot of glittery sparkle here. And I do love how these turned out. I know they're not identical to Bori's, but they're close enough. They both have their own personalities. And last but surely not least, I am adding some Nuvo jewel drops in the color Aqua Plains. I thought that went well with my background, and it really does look like little droplets of water when it dries. I really like these jewel drops because they almost guarantee a perfect rounded drop. So that's awesome, and they are translucent. So here are my final cards. Look at all that sparkle, look at all that texture. Go check out Bori's channel, go check out the video that she did using the same techniques. I would love it if you checked out Bori's video that inspired me to do this card. I would have done it anyway, but this case hop gave me a reason to use all the stuff and showcase both of our work. So I hope you guys have a great day. See you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.